divided we fall. UnitedReggae.com, number one online reggae magazine.
Okay, we're here this morning with Ernie Smith, and I must say, what a performance last night. It was amazing. I loved every minute of it, and especially being a new fan of yours. It's very, very exciting.
Well, you found out from the songs that you knew something of me.
Yeah, exactly, and I didn't even realize that.
I'm out there in the woodwork.
Yes, you are, truly. Who are some of the artists that influenced you?
Oh, Toots and the Maytals, you know. Nat King Cole. Yeah.
Your very first?
That was my very first influence. I love Neil Diamond. Chris Christopherson. In Jamaica, you know, anybody who was playing our music when I turned 15 was an influence. You know, the Scatolites, you know, Tommy McCook, Don Drummond, you know, a lot of influences.
What was the first song that you ever recorded or came into your mind? When did you know that you wanted to be an entertainer or a singer?
It's sort of, we were never told you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. But it was kind of inherent in our teaching that music can never be anything but a sideline, you know. I look back on the 5 years after I'd left school. By that time I was selling life insurance, making a lot of money, and having no fun. And I look back on all the time since I'd left school. And one thing was for sure, I always was playing something somewhere. I always had my guitar, and I said, it must be music I'm supposed to do.
But I'll go back a little further, because you know we went to high school together, right? We were in the same form. He wasn't a bad boy, but he was a teasy boy, you know. He locked me in the form one day with an awful guy, who was not nice. But he always performed at school. He performed for I Stedfords. He had a band, and you know. But he was so nerdy. Although he was musical, he was also nerdy. So we thought he was going to become a doctor. Lo and behold, he's on stage prancing. You know.
What is the one thing that would surprise our United Reggae viewers the most about you? And I want both of you to answer this, because I know you've been together how many years?
Oh my God, I've known him since I was 11, and I'm now 65.
Wow.
So do the math. I hope some people miss a few years.
The one thing that I think would surprise everybody, or maybe not, I got an outie.
Big one. You want to show it? No. No, but I think the other thing that would surprise a lot of people, he's so nervous. He doesn't even want me to talk to him. You know, he's so nervous before he goes on stage that he's backstage just walking up and down, nervous to his belly. And then they say, Ernie Smith, and he becomes an animal. He becomes an animal. I don't know the person who performs and the person who gets ready for the performance. I don't know this. These are two different entities. Yes.
And what is one of your most unforgettable experiences while on tour? Because you've been touring how many years?
45.
My first trip abroad was 1971. I went to the Cayman Islands, and can't really call that a tour. It was just a one-shot performance over a weekend.
But your most memorable one that we talk about all the time was that one in Italy, when we were going from Milan to Stresa, and they booked us on an express train which shouldn't stop for more than 5 minutes at that station. And we were
We were
going
the Jamaica Tourist Board, and we had half of Jamaica on display.
on to show what, it was an expo. So we had so many things. And we, the whole team, threw everything that we had on that train.
In 5 minutes.
In 5 minutes. And there was a pregnant girl, Gail Jackson from Negril.
Yeah.
And she was like 7 months pregnant. And she was lifting things and hefting them too. It was memorable. And we all got on the train going, we made it. It was so good.
I think my most memorable performance was in Tokyo in November 1972, World Popular Song Festival, sponsored by the Yamaha Foundation. 18,000 people in the audience, indoors, and 64 people in the orchestra. I've never worked with an orchestra that big before or since, and that was the Aries.
That was the year he won the festival, and he was beating up people like Legrand and people
Michel
like
Legrand, Neil Sedaka.
Neil
It was a songwriters festival.
And this was this little boy from rural Jamaica who came out on top. I mean, it must have been, yes, it must have been scary.
It was
you
fun.
have to get scared again so you can do another hit.
And what made you decide reggae music? I mean, there's country, jazz, blues. Why reggae music?
My first song, Tears on My Pillow, was a country song, right? And I did about 2-3 songs after that, none of which was a hit for me. I mean, Tears on My Pillow was a hit for Johnny Nash and some other people. But I had no hit, and I kept talking to the manager at the studio, and he kept saying to me, Ernie, if you don't do a reggae song, you're not going to have a hit. So I finally wrote a reggae song called Bend Down, and that was my first hit.
And can I have a few lines of that one?
Another happy home for sale, one more love has failed, 2 more fools have tried, but they got so much pride inside their hearts they know. When the pieces of your love are scattered far and wide, bend down, bend down, bend down, pick them from the ground.
That's the one he sang a cappella last night.
Mm-hmm.
The Bajans wouldn't let him go without singing that.
Yeah.
Which artist, young artist right now, are you looking at or listening to?
Romain Virgo.
And why is that?
He lives about a mile down the road from where we live in the hills right now, and he's so down to earth and conscious, and no nonsense, no lewd lyrics, no, just clean, wholesome young boy.
We consider him our child because after he's like a son. After he won the Digicel Rising Star contest, he came out on top. He was the winner by far. Everybody came out and promised him everything for their 9 minutes of fame. And when he was waiting for them to deliver, they didn't deliver. So we took it upon ourselves to make sure they delivered. We took him to the School of Music, and he's made us proud. We really and truly consider him our son. Mm-hmm. And he's got a long he's gonna be out there like an Ernie, 45 years and more.
Yeah.
Yes, he's good. He's a good kid.
And what's the message that you're putting out there in your lyrics, in your music? What are you trying to get out?
Let the children love one another, be your brother's keeper, live with your neighbor, and do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
That's called love.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one love.
Mm-hmm. And how do you write your songs? Do they just pop up?
People say things and I hear a lyric. Somebody might say 2 lines that end up in a song, They might say something and rhyme with another couple of words, and I keep saying, that's a lyric, that's a lyric.
That's a song.
That's a song.
There's a song in that.
Or I might be sitting playing with the guitar and a couple of chords seem to gel together, and then out of that vibe, I hear lyrics coming. It's fun.
Listen to me. He has music in his head all the time.
There's always a melody running.
It running in his head. In order for him to not deal with the music in his head, he plays the radio louder than I can sleep with. But let me tell you, I'm surrounded by, I have to hide to get a quiet moment. He always needs music or DVD or something in order to balance what's in his head and what's outside. He's always listening to music.
So, what's in the future for Ernie?
We go to Canada in about
2 weeks.
2 weeks, you know. Hush, hush.
Working on a project, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we come back, and I think we go to the States after that.
No, we do something for the Prime Minister. She's doing a foundation for needy kids. She's launching a foundation for needy kids. So we are there with Fab Five and Pluto Shervington and some others. And we're doing some shows with Pluto right there in Maypen and in Kingston. And then he told me not to say it, but I have to. We are looking at being part of a reggae opera. And I want it, I can taste it. It's gonna be good.
That'll be definitely exciting. Well, thank you so much for your interview. I'm so grateful. And I truly enjoyed your performance. I was just in awe. The audience loves you. You're very highly respected amongst your peers. Just about every interview I've done, Ernie's name comes up. He's the godfather of the reggae music. You just hear his name. Who's your influence? Do they?
Yeah.
Some people.
Some people call me Godfather, some people call me
Dads. Yes.
And that's not a bad name to be called Dads.
No.
It's very family.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you and thank you, United Reggae. Thank you, thank you. Okay.